We're seeing a lot of volatility in cryptos. We're seeing them go up and down. We see some competition, and many think, hey, that's a good thing, because with the competition, we let the marketplace sort out what is best. There's a coin that's been out for a long time called Bitcoin, and Bitcoin has been the father, the grandfather of it all that kept it going. But now we see several other options, and one of the biggest ones is Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash came as a result of a hard fork, a split, on August the 1st of 2017. And now we're seeing some amazing things happening with Bitcoin Cash and with other currencies. To find out what's going on and to make sense of all this, I've invited a person to join us who is the top developer and a programmer working with Bitcoin Cash. His name is Amaury Sechet, and he's joining us now from his offices over there in France. Amaury, thanks for being with us today.
Hey, thank you.
Really looking forward to hearing your perspective on this, because we got you here. We want to find out, okay, what is, first of all, for those that might not know completely, what is Bitcoin Cash, and what are some of the advantages you see of Bitcoin Cash?
So the ideas that are behind Bitcoin Cash are not actually very new. Those were the idea that a lot of early Bitcoiners had when going into Bitcoin, right? So I went into Bitcoin in late 2010. Many people in 2010, 2011 or so. What we're doing with Bitcoin Cash right now is what people were describing at the time. But around 2015 or so, there have been a change in what Bitcoin wants to do, right? At the beginning, the white paper was like a peer-to-peer cash system, but no, Bitcoin's enthusiasts, they describe it more as digital gold. And they're trying to build something else that what a lot of early adopters went in for, right? And Bitcoin Cash is trying to do what the early adopters went in for, meaning peer-to-peer digital cash.
Yeah, exactly. One of the things that I particularly like about using Bitcoin Cash is, at least earlier with Bitcoin, so I could go into a coffee shop and I could buy something and be able to use Bitcoin to make that purchase. That's something that's not really a micro payment. I mean, it's a payment that is, might be $5, $10. Besides, when I throw in a few extra things there, more than my coffee, some rolls and some other goodies, it might be around $15, $20 US. But I want to be able to use something that is convenient and that it's easy to use. You've talked a lot about money, and particularly I want to get your perspective on this, if you don't mind. Being there in France, and your history, you have seen throughout the history of France changing of various kinds of currencies. Tell us about how that has affected your views of cryptocurrencies and where we are today with that.
Well, I've seen only one, right? But older people in France, they have seen. So I've seen one change, meaning two currencies, right? But older people in France, like my grandparents, they have seen three different currency, two changes. And one of them due to the local currency values being way too low and becoming inconvenient to use because everything was worth, thousands or even millions if it's, something that is a bit expensive. So, fiat money tends to not last very long, on average 27 years. And even in countries that are doing good economically, like France, this is still the case, right? Like there is a regular change of fiat money where they put into your hand a new form of fiat money because the old one is not valuable anymore. And even in country where that doesn't happen that much, like the US, the fiat money is still losing a lot of value, right? The US dollar lost most of its value since inception. I think it's like 98% or something like that. And so you have this cycle with fiat money where it ends up being inflated at some point. So first, it ended up being created because it's a convenient medium of exchange, more convenient than other form of money like precious metal, right? Mm-hmm. So people start using it, and at first it's all good because it's more convenient medium of exchange, so it grows the economy to begin with. But it also puts someone in control of the money supply, and that person sooner or later becomes being under the influence of some actor that don't have your best interest in mind. And sooner or later, you have some form of hyperinflation that occurs, and the money just, the value of the money is gone.
Yeah, exactly. So we see that there's a lot of options, and I think again, having the marketplace decide what we're going to do. We see different use cases. Like for instance, we see Ethereum as a coin that is has certain attributes and is good for certain procedures. Bitcoin is very good for what it does. Bitcoin Cash we see has a lot of value. There are those that talk about a store of value. Tell us what they mean by store of value. What do you see that as, and how we would be able to use certain currencies for that?
So yeah, so currency have three characteristics that we're looking for, and the perfect currency would score very high on all of those three characteristics. Those are going to be store of value, meaning this is some kind of asset that's going to stay valuable over time, right? I can be confident that in a few years, or maybe in a decades or 2 decades, I can use this money and it's still going to have value, right? So that's the store of value characteristics. You have the medium of exchange characteristics, so I can exchange that money against goods and services, and preferably it's convenient to do so. And you have the unit of accounts, meaning I can measure value using that money. So it acts like, like a meter. I could measure the table where, all my stuff is, like, you don't see it, but
Mm-hmm.
my laptop or the table or whatever, that cup, I
Mm-hmm.
can measure that and say, okay, this is that much size, right?
Right.
And just like for size or distances or whatever, we have some unit. We need to have some unit for value, and you can use the money as a unit to measure value. So those are the three characteristics of money. Um, Historically, gold and precious metal do very well as a store of value, but very poorly as a medium of exchange, and fiat does the reverse. And I think the people that uh, argue for store value kind of are missing the big picture here. If we want to have a transformative effect on society, and if we want this stuff to become very big and have a real impact, we need to score very high on the three characteristics, not just the store value one.
Yes, I think so. I think that we look at all of that, but then you think about store of value. As you and I were talking about before, if I wanted to have, let's say $1 million, just pick a nice round
Mm-hmm.
number, and I wanted to have that as a store of value, I'm not going to tap into it. If I have gold, well, I'm going to have to put it somewhere. And it's going to cost me because I need to protect it. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
that's going to have to be in some kind of a storehouse or a place, or hire people or something for that. Versus if
Yes.
I had it in Bitcoin Cash, I could put it probably not in one, but multiple wallets. Kind of like you'd have, if you had a lot of cash, you'd want them in a lot of different tomato cans in the ground here and there.
Yes.
I wanted to come over to France to see you, have some of that good French wine, some great French meals. I said, Amaury, I'm coming over next Thursday. Can you pick me up? And go, sure, Terry, we'll do it. I could still take that $1 million of Bitcoin Cash with me, the store of value. I just remember those codes, and it seems like, hey, this gives me what I need with something that's easy to take to the coffee shop and buy something. I get that transaction quickly, but also store
Yep.
value. Uh,
Yes.
what are your thoughts on that?
My thought on that is that you described exactly the kind of transformative effect that this kind of technology can have, right? If you can have store of value that is at the same time, easy to use as a medium of exchange, then you get some transformative effect. The way people can use money and the way people can control other people's money uh, changes completely. Like you become the sole owner of your money, and this is sound money. This is not money that's gonna go away.
I like the way you say that, the sole owner of your money, which requires some responsibility as well. That means you've got to take care of it. Hardware wallets and other areas like that are something you need to study.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I'm sure they're gonna have services. No, we have multi-sigs and technology like that, so I'm sure we're gonna see more services in the future where maybe you own two keys and they own one. So if you lose your key or whatever, you can go to them and they can recover your money or whatever, right? I'm sure. I'm sure we're gonna have. Right now it's a bit hard to use, I'd say, for many users. Like the fact that you need to keep your secret key, and if you lose it or whatever, everything is gone. You can never recover your money. I think there are a lot of services that can grow around that. Maybe that could be a good business for banks to get in because their current business is not going to be very good in a few years. So The one that adapt are going to do very well, and the one that don't adapt are not going to do very well. And
Yeah.
this is a possible way they can adapt.
I think so. Thanks. Well, one thing I want to get your ideas on, or for those people that are watching this right now, we're seeing cryptos going through a lot of ups and downs, volatility, and it's easy to get really emotional on what's happening that day. We go over to coinmarketcap.com and we're just riveted to it. Oh no, or we're ecstatic, etc. I like the way you do it. You take a longer term view. Please talk to us a little bit about that and tell that person that's watching this that might be a little bit upset and concerned about the volatility, what they can do to survive long term.
Yeah. So the volatility first is due to the fact that those markets we are in right now are fairly small. Yeah. 20 billion for Bitcoin Cash may seem big, but it's actually, compared to most financial market, it's actually very small. Right. So because of that, big players doing move are going to have a lot of impact on the market, much more than they would have on some other market. And so because of that, you see a lot of volatility. The way I look at it is that because it's very small, the upside first is huge. So even if you bought at some point where it was expensive, I mean, if this technology works, it doesn't matter. You're going to do very well regardless. And also there is a lot of volatility short term, right? People get exuberant and then they get scared and they get exuberant again, right? And if you get caught into that, you're not going to make very good trade. The way I like to look at it is like look at fundamentals, right? And fundamentals were one of the things when Bitcoin was going up last year, still led me to think that there was something wrong with it and we needed to fork away, because the number of merchants accepting it was actually going down. The transaction fee were going up. The transaction confirmation were becoming unreliable. So there were all kinds of metrics that you can measure that were going down, right? Like fundamentals. So the technology is like accepted by less people and not working as well as it used to. So all of that are red flags. And when you have those red flags, but the price is going up, you know that the market is being kind of exuberant right now, and people are not looking at the fundamentals. But eventually, on the short term, the feeling of people in the market dictate everything, and it's very unpredictable. But on the long term, those fundamentals are going to be the things that dictate, who wins and who lose, right?
Yes.
And so this is why even though the price of pretty much all crypto is down right now, I'm fairly confident with Bitcoin Cash. We see a lot of adoption. We see like new merchant every day saying that they're going to accept it. So yeah, it's great. I think that when we look at the fundamental, I think we have a much clearer picture of it.
I like that. I think look at the fundamentals and see what it's like. For those of you that are concerned about the volatility and have those emotions, as I think we all do from time to time, just remember what Amaury has said. We've got to look at it long term and make sure that we see what's happening there in the long term.
Yeah. Also, if you like to trade, then if you look at the fundamental and you look at the trend of price you are talking about short term, and you see that they move in opposite direction, in both ways there are opportunity to do good trades there if you like trading.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Well, any final words for those that are watching that are thinking about getting into Bitcoin Cash or Bitcoin? They want to make some decisions. What words of advice would you give them before we say goodbye?
Well, the first stuff is that a lot of people say a lot of stuff. I would say just try it. Get a small amount, either from someone that owns some, or buy a small amount, and try the crypto. Get a sense of how that works in practice and what you can do with it in practice. That will give you a much better feel of where the fundamentals are right now, which is crypto you are playing with, and not just and then you're not just gambling, right? Like if you don't do that, you're just gambling. And maybe another one about Bitcoin Cash. So we are preparing right now an upgrade that's going on in May, where we're going to increase the capacity again. We have done a lot of work over the past few months to optimize the software and everything so it can handle higher capacity. So that brings us right now to be able to handle capacity similar to what PayPal is doing.
Yeah, very good. Well, we will look forward to that. And before we let you go, if somebody says, hey, I want to know more about this wonderful guy, what's the best way for them to find out more about you or get in touch with you?
I think the best way is to know my alias, which is going to be Diddlenix, DEADALNIX. And under that alias, I'm on GitHub, I'm on Twitter, I'm everywhere under that alias. If you want to see what I'm doing, if you are interested in code, you go to GitHub and you look at that alias. If you are interested in whatever, like you go to the platform that is appropriate to what you're looking for, you look for that alias, and you're gonna find me.
Very good. Well, Amaury Sechet, we're so glad you're with us today. I love the way you describe yourself, the benevolent dictator at Bitcoin ABC, and we are very glad that you could join us here on Bitcoin.com TV. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
And for those of you watching, think about what you have just heard. There's a lot of volatility, and sometimes it can be really nerve-wracking when you see what's happening with cryptos. Take the long-term view. Look at what's going on and look at the fundamentals of what is there. That is what you'll want to do. I'm Terry Brock with Bitcoin.com TV. Thank you very much for joining us today.